To the cardiac cycle overview of the cardiac cycle, it is very important. Note down these points. Okay, from this table, okay, one bit we can expect in NEET exam. It is very, very important. Note down and practice it number of times. Okay, let us start. You already know there are three stages in the cardiac cycle. Can you tell me without looking at your books what are the three stages in the life cardiac cycle? What are they? Name of the phase: atrial systole, ventricular systole, and joint diastole. We already discussed the duration of atrial systole: 0.1 second, 0.4 second, and 0.4 second, 0.3, 0.1, and 0.4 seconds. This is the duration of this one. I got it. Atrial systole, ventricular systole, joint diastole. Okay, duration 0.1 second, 0.3 seconds, and 0.4 seconds. Action potential. Action potential. Okay, here this atrial systole takes place because sinoatrial node generates action potential. That add action potential spread to both atria, that causes the atrial contraction, that is called atrial systole. Here during what causes the ventricular systole? Here AVN, atrioventricular node, and his bundle Purkinje fibers propagate action potential that causes the ventricular systole. Okay, diastole means no propagation here. Okay, during the joint diastole, the same thing happens here. Okay, there is no conduction of action potential here. Next one, atria. Atrial systole causes the contraction. Ventricular systole okay, look at this one. I am comparing atria and ventricles. During atrial systole, atria contract, ventricles relax. During the ventricular systole, atria relax. During ventricular systole, atria relax. Okay, wait, what is systole here? Ventricle. Ventricles contract. Here systole, atrial systole, atria contract. The other one opposite, other one relaxes. Joint, both. Relaxation. Joint means both chambers, as well upper chambers and lower chambers. They are in the phase of relaxation. What about the during atrial systole? What about the AV valves? What about the semilunar valves? SL valves, semilunar valves. Okay, during atrial systole, AV valves are open because blood flows from atria to ventricle. Here, these valves are closed. During ventricular systole, okay, during ventricular systole, what happens is first contact. There are, I told you, during ventricular systole there are two phases. First stage of ventricular systole. Second phase of ventricular systole, it is not given in a textbook. During the first contraction of the ventricles, first phase, okay, these valves, AV valves close, that produces sound called lub sound. And next one here, during the second phase of the, okay, second phase of the ventricular systole, what happens is the, okay, these valves open, semilunar valves open. Now blood is ejected from the heart, ventricles to the heart. Next one, during joint diastole, okay, this is the, okay, joint diastole, again we learned two phases, second phase and first phase. Here, okay, these AV valves open here, and then here, okay, these semilunar valves close. Next one, sound. Sound producer here, first S4 sound. S4 total I discussed in the previous 4 sound. S4 sound means during when blood is coming from atria to ventricle. This is the active filling of ventricle. During that one sound come, that is S4. Okay, during ventricular systole, there is a lub sound, S1 sound. This is because AV valves close. When close enough the sound. Next one, dub. Okay, during dub sound, because semilunar valves close. Okay, during joint diastole, okay, that produces a sound called dub sound. Okay, now come to the blood flow. During atrial systole, blood is flowing from right atrium to right ventricle, left atrium to left oxygenated blood 30% here, oxygenated blood, okay, 70%, sorry, same 30%. During ventricular systole, Okay, right ventricle to pulmonary aorta or pulmonary arch 70 ml of deoxygenated blood, and left ventricle to aortic arch 70 ml of what type of blood? Oxygenated blood pumped out. Okay, during joint diastole, right atrium to right ventricle 70%. This is the passive filling of ventricles. And okay, next one, left atrium to left ventricle 70%, 70 ml of oxygenated blood comes. Ventricular filling. Okay, ventricular filling you can see here also. Okay, 30% of blood flows into ventricle. 30% of blood flows into ventricles, and active filling and end diastolic volume. Okay, after filling of ventricles, that means after the diastole is complete in the ventricles లో diastole complete అయినప్పుడు the ventricles లో ఎంత blood ఉంటుందంటే 120. Active, this is the ventricular systole, active passes, each ventricle pumps 70 ml. Okay, here 120 is there, 120 ml in each ventricle, 70 ml is pumped out, that means 50 ml remains in each ventricle. And end systolic volume అంటే 50 ml. ఎలాగా? end diastolic volume how much? 120. Systolic volume how much? Systolic volume 70. If you subtract 120, 70 from 120, you get the 50 ml, that is called end systolic volume. Okay, this is very, very, very important. Last year one bit was us in mock test papers also, several bits are based on this topic here. And 70% blood flows into ventricle. Passive ventricle filling takes place here, that means 49 ml. You can learn these things here. The volume of blood flows into ventricle during the active ventricular filling. That means here, this is the active ventricular filling. And how much? How much? 30% of the blood flows into ventricle. Okay, 30% of the 70 ml. 30% of the 70 ml. 70 ml lo 30%, 3 sevens and 21 ml. Volume of blood flows into ventricles during passive ventricle filling. 49 ml, 70 ml. Okay, that was 70% of the 70 ml. That means 49 ml. 7 sevens, 49. After atrial systole, how much volume of blood present in the ventricle? After atrial systole, how much blood is present in the ventricle? 120. 120 here, 99 plus 21. Before atrial systole, how much volume of blood is present in the ventricles? 99. 50 plus 49. After ventricle contraction, how much blood is present in the ventricle? 50 ml. Okay, bit here last year. End systolic volume. It is called as a cardiac reserve. అంటే హార్ట్లో 50 ml బ్లడ్ అక్కడే ఉంటుంది, బయటకు వెళ్ళకుండా. Okay, these are very, very important. If you did not get what about these numbers, watch the previous videos. Okay, I have explained what is this. Okay, look at this one. Okay, lub sound and dub sound. Lub dub sound. Here, lub sound is the S1 sound, dub sound is the S2 sound, produced by AV valves. Produced by AV valves, and it is produced by closure of semilunar valves. Beginning of ventricular systole. When sub lub sound comes, that means it is the beginning of ventricular systole. And here, okay, dub sound, beginning of joint diastole. This sound is dull, lesser intensive. This is sharp, more louder, high intensive sound. And prolonged time 0.15 seconds, short time 0.1 second. This is the difference between lub and dub. You can note down this point. Okay, you know how action potential transfer goes from sinoatrial node, which is called pacemaker. Action potential is generated here, and then it comes to it causes the atrial depolarization. Because of atrial depolarization, atrial contraction takes place. Now the impulse comes to AV node. AV node delays as well as relays impulses to the AV bundle or His bundle. From there to bundle branches, right bundle branch, left bundle branch. From the bundle branches to Purkinje fiber. Okay, now it causes the ventricular contraction. This sequence also very important. They ask this sequence how action potential spreads along our heart. Okay, that's all about this overview of the cycle. Okay, note down these all numerical data. If you have any doubts here, okay, comment in the comment section.